Welcome to Demolition Worker, where we document the massive logistics behind moving giant bridge segments from the ocean to the yard. Hundreds of steel bridge sections are loaded onto these self-propelled barges, creating a floating island effect across the vast open sea. These massive structures tell stories of decades of surface as they now begin their final journey toward the specialized recycling facility. Watching the convoy move forward is like witnessing a slow-motion parade of industrial giants navigating the currents of our oceans. Safety remains the top priority as skilled workers ensure every cable is tensioned correctly to prevent any shifting during the transit. The contrast between the rusted iron and the pristine blue water emphasizes the sheer scale of this complex maritime engineering operation. Every wave pushes against the heavy load, reminding us of the immense forces required to transport such heavy tonnage across distances. Looking up at these structures reveals the engineering brilliance that once supported millions of vehicles before they reached this final stage. Navigating these massive convoys requires intense concentration and precise coordination to ensure they reach the port without any unexpected maritime incidents. As the sun begins to set the silhouettes of these steel giants appear against the horizon, marking the end of travel. The waiting machines at the dock stand ready to begin the intense process of unloading the scrap metal for further processing. Communication is key as the ground crew signals the barge captain to align the massive load perfectly with the unloading zone. These machines are built to handle extreme pressure, and their presence at the port signifies the start of the dismantling phase. The heavy restraints is a dangerous task requiring precision and physical strength to ensure the components are ready for removal. The hydraulic power of the excavator is tested as it reaches out to grip the first section of the bridge frame. With a powerful grip, the claw secures the load and begins vertical lift that will transfer weight to the land. Gravity fights back, but the industrial machinery is designed to overcome such massive loads with ease during the unloading cycle today. The heavy thud of steel hitting concrete echoes through the harbor, signaling another piece has arrived safely at the final yard. Expert cutters work to dismantle the smaller joints, allowing the main structure to be processed into smaller, more manageable scrap pieces. The brilliant display of sparks highlights the intensity of the work as metal is separated piece by piece for efficient recycling. Looking across the yard, we see the sheer magnitude of the project with mountains of steel waiting to be recycled completely. Logistics are managed efficiently as trucks move back and forth, transporting materials to the various processing zones across this massive site. The site supervisor monitors every step to ensure the schedule remains on track despite the complexity of handling such heavy materials. Decades of exposure to the elements have left their mark on the surface of these girders, yet the steel remains strong. Sorting is essential for efficient recycling, and the operators are trained to classify every piece that comes off the barge lines. The rhythmic roar of diesel engines creates a symphony of progress that defines the atmosphere of this major industrial demolition site. Safety checks are performed constantly to ensure that no equipment fails under the immense strain of moving these heavy steel objects. The crane operator maneuvers the equipment with precision to grab the heavy steel components from the pile for further processing duties. Electromagnetic force is utilized to pick up smaller fragments quickly, ensuring that no valuable metal is left behind in the yard. The crushing machine awaits the load to reduce the bulky shapes into smaller parts suitable for melting down in the furnace. Powerful blades tear through the thick steel as if it were soft plastic, proving the sheer force of this industrial machine. The shredded material moves along the conveyor belt toward the final collection point where it will be packaged for shipping out. Quality control is maintained throughout the process to ensure that only the highest grade of metal reaches the final melting stage. The supply line remains constant as another barge full of bridge parts arrives to replace the ones already processed and cleared. Securing the new vessel requires the combined effort of the crew and dock workers to hold it steady against the tide. This synchronized effort showcases the true capability of modern logistics in managing large-scale infrastructure projects that span across many different regions. The physical toll on the workers is evident, but their dedication ensures that this massive project moves forward without any delays. Each rivet represents the skilled craftsmanship of the past, which now must be broken down to make way for new infrastructure. Precision control is necessary when handling such massive loads to prevent damage to the equipment or injury to the ground crew. Dust clouds rise with every movement, highlighting the raw power and the gritty reality of working in an industrial salvage yard. The yard resembles a metallic labyrinth where every path leads to the recycling furnace that will transform these old bridge parts. Lifting long girders requires the mobile crane to be positioned perfectly to avoid tipping over under the heavy load being carried. The deep blast of the ship horn announces the arrival of another load, keeping the momentum of the project moving forward. Inside the cabin, the operator uses subtle movements to control the massive machinery, turning immense steel beams with grace and ease. The play of light on the metal surfaces adds a cinematic quality to this otherwise rugged and purely functional industrial environment. Measuring the thickness of the steel is a critical step to ensure it can be processed safely in the high-heat furnaces. Watching the piles grow serves as a visual record of the massive amount of material being recovered from the old bridges. Once processed, the scrap is loaded onto trucks and transported to facilities where it will be melted down for new uses. Every aspect of this operation involves heavy equipment designed to handle the immense weight of the materials being moved every day. Brief moments of rest are vital for the crew to recover and maintain their focus during the long and grueling shifts. As the sun dips below the horizon, the cranes stand as silent sentinels marking the end of another productive working day. Night shifts begin with the bright lights cutting through the darkness, ensuring the work continues without any interruption to the schedule. Sparks dancing in the dark remind us that the work never stops even when the world around the harbor is sleeping. Moving through the yard at night requires the operators to rely on their lights and their deep knowledge of the terrain. The human presence is felt everywhere in this facility as dedicated individuals work through the night to meet the project deadlines. Removing the stubborn bolts is a test of patience and strength as the steel has bonded together over many long years. The repetitive sound of metal hitting metal creates a steady rhythm that guides the workers through their complex and tiring tasks. Suspended in the air, the heavy steel beams look almost weightless, a testament to the power of the heavy-duty crane machines. The train leaves the harbor fully loaded, carrying the recycled materials to their final destination where they will be repurposed soon. Final inspections are performed to ensure the site is safe and secure for the next crew arriving in the early morning. Looking down from above, the organized complexity of this site reveals the genius behind managing such a massive industrial demolition project. This small plaque captures the history of the bridge, a relic that will soon be transformed into something entirely new today. The silence that follows the engine shutdown is rare, marking a peaceful moment in an otherwise incredibly loud and busy environment. As the shift ends, the workers leave the site, knowing they have contributed to a project of truly massive global significance. A new day begins with the sunrise painting the harbor in golden hues, signaling the start of another cycle of activity. The arrival of more barges confirms that the work will continue for many weeks until the entire bridge is fully dismantled. The tension in the cables is a reminder of the massive forces involved in every single movement of these giant structures. With the start of the new day, the machinery roars to life, continuing the mission of clearing the massive bridge parts. Slow and steady work is required to disassemble these structures, ensuring that every part is handled with the appropriate care needed. Teamwork is the backbone of this operation, as every worker must understand their role to ensure the safety of the site. The trucks are built to withstand the heavy loads, and watching them handle the weight is a lesson in mechanical engineering. Each truck leaving the gate represents a small victory in the ongoing effort to manage and recycle these massive steel components. The variety of shapes and sizes shows the complexity of the bridge design, which now requires a highly organized sorting process. The shredder is the final stop for many of these parts, reducing them to scrap that can be easily transported away. This mountain of scrap is the result of thousands of hours of work, representing the successful recycling of the old bridge. Watching the landscape change over time gives us a sense of the progress being made on this massive and difficult project. Cleanliness is maintained even in this rough environment to prevent accidents. and keep the logistics flowing as smoothly as possible now. Late afternoon provides a brief respite before the final push of the day, allowing the workers to catch their breath briefly. One by one, the machines are parked, signaling that the work for today is done and the site is finally quiet. Under the moonlight, the harbor looks peaceful, a stark contrast to the intense activity that takes place during the day shift. Every single bolt tells a story, and this one has been part of a structure that served the public for years. The sheer scale of this project is humbling, reminding us of the effort we're required to build and then remove such structures. Documentation is vital, as every ton of steel moved must be tracked to ensure the project remains within the planned budget. These hands have worked hard to dismantle the bridge, and they are the true heroes behind the success of this operation. The tugboat heads back out into the ocean, ready to repeat the process and bring in more material for the yard. The cycle continues as the sun rises, bringing new energy to the workers and the machines that drive this massive project. The ocean remains calm, witnessing the constant ebb and flow of the logistics operation that defines this unique industrial harbor site. With the start of a new shift, the machinery begins its work, ensuring the project moves closer to its final conclusion. The piles of steel are slowly disappearing, which is a sign that the end of this massive project is finally approaching. Seeing the progress brings a sense of satisfaction to the team, who have worked tirelessly to achieve these impressive project goals. Each successful lift is another step toward finishing the job, and the efficiency of the team continues to improve every day. The logistics chain is perfectly balanced, ensuring that the supply of material never stops and the work remains highly efficient throughout. The cutters perform their tasks with extreme precision, separating the complex bridge parts so they can be recycled with great efficiency. Looking up at the giant crane, one can appreciate the massive scale of the equipment needed for such a challenging task. Monitoring the equipment is essential for safety, and the operators are highly skilled at managing these complex and powerful industrial machines. The project is nearing its end, and the yard stands as a testament to the hard work and coordination of everyone. These recycled materials will soon be used in new construction, continuing the cycle of utility that defines our industrial modern world. Thank you for watching this Demolition Worker episode, and we appreciate your support, so please subscribe for more great content today.